Welcome to Brodie Tries New Things. Brodie tries new things. Whoa, oh, oh. Brodie tries new things. YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Welcome to Brodie Tries New Things. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Okay, so today we're making our great potato salad. So we need 12 potatoes, half a kilo of bacon, Dijon mustard, chives or onion sprigs, sour cream, real mayonnaise, so egg mayonnaise, and some lemon juice, and 6 eggs. So 6 eggs, as you can see there, I've already started my eggs. Got my potatoes on. I will take you through the guide. We'll start with step 1. So we've got our normal cooking channel, which will be us cooking meals, and then I'm going to have just a quick recipe sort of style video for you. So we want to start off with our potatoes. So we're going to be feeding about 4 people. So what have I got there? 4, 8, 12. So 12 potatoes. Okay, so step 1 is peeling potatoes. So just get our water. Get a nice peeler. These peelers are the greatest peelers that you can get. Nice big wide peeler. Okay, so now that you've finished peeling your potatoes, we will move on to step 2. So remember, when peeling, we'll get all the skin off. If you've got lots of potatoes, it does help to leave them in some cool water just so that they go a little bit brown, but some of these pretty quick. Okay, so step 2 is cutting up the potatoes. So you want to cut them up roughly this sort of size. You can go in half again if you like, sort of like that. So then we want to put them in a pot. Guys, we're going to boil them in a minute for 20 minutes. We want to boil them for. So we'll grab that out in a second. Okay, step number 3. We're going to fill our pot up with hot water. We're actually going to make sure it's hot first, instead of just rushing into it. While we're waiting for that to heat up, we'll grab our bacon out. So you probably want about half a kilo of bacon. Just depends if you're on a budget or not. The more bacon, the better it does taste. So that's what I'm going to say for that. So step number 3 is now filling this up. So we'll fill up our water. Chuck that on the stove. Crank that. So we'll bring it to boil and then we'll simmer it. So you just turn it down so it's just bubbling. And it'll probably take roughly 20 minutes to half an hour, but you just want to keep checking it with a fork. Also for step number 3, we're going to cook the bacon. So don't mind the mess with my air fryer, I just used it before, so it has got a bit of cheese in it, melted in there. So your bacon, depending on how well you like your bacon done, I'm probably going to cook this for roughly 20 minutes. We do want it to cool down so we can cut it up and tear it apart when I'm done. So as you can see, it's not all going to fit on this level, so we'll put some more on the other level in a second. But basically we just want to cook it. So put our bacon in. That bit more will be cooked. Okay, so I'm going to do it at 220 or 20. Okay, so that's on. So while we're waiting for that, we'll go to step number 4. So step number 4, a pot. Now we use 12 potatoes. So our next step is to cook 6 eggs. So half of whatever you do in potatoes, you want to do in eggs. So put your eggs in. 6 of. Now this time we want cold water. So you don't have to use cold water, but I use cold water because it helps me so I know how long to do it for. So I'll put that on for 12 minutes now. Same concept, bring it to boil, let it simmer. Okay, so there's my eggs on there. Potatoes on, bacon's in. Okay, now this is an important step. This one here might not seem that important. It's probably the most important step out of all of them. Okay, you want to put some more cold water in here for the container of sorts, preferably plastic if you've got a plastic one, or something strong, like don't use glass, cause it'll probably shatter. We want to put that in the freezer. So that is now in the freezer, and that will be our cold water to put our eggs in. So when the eggs are done, we'll pull that water out and we put eggs straight in so the shell will break. That helps get the shell away. Okay, and when that's done, we'll get to put it all together. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to cook, we're going to move on to the next step. So our next step is going to be making the sauce that goes in it. So we want whole egg mayo. So we're going to put a whole jug of that in. You want whole egg mayo, so that's an important step. So this one's just real mayonnaise, so we've got about 500 grams there. So you'll eventually get to know that with me, more ingredients is better. I like putting lots of things in. We've got our sour cream here. I use light sour cream. I think it's a bit more tangy, but this sort of one that's up to everyone. So I sort of just squeeze it in. I'll probably put about 2/3 of the tub in. So that bit's easy. Then we've got Dijon mustard. So probably a bit less than that. Probably a neat sort of tablespoon. Mix that in. Now you can put lemon juice in here if you like. I don't really put it in very often anymore. I used to put it in a little bit. But that's sort of your last bit there. So now we've got our spring onion. In the last video I done, you would have seen I didn't have any spring onion, so we didn't use spring onion. I just had to use some other stuff I had in the cupboard, which was already dried. But I'd rather use fresh stuff, so with that we just want to cut it up. So just cut it up like that. So we're probably going to use this whole sprig, I reckon. So just cut it across, sort of, I don't know, roughly as small as you can sort of get it. Smells good. So put that in. So as you can see, you can cut it all different ways, as long as you cut it nice and small. And don't cut your fingers off, because that's what I'm going to do, is cut the ends of my fingers off. I'm going to put that in. Mix it in. See, we still don't have enough. Bit more in. And that'll go in. Okay. So we're going to put some lemon juice in it. So we'll just throw a little squirt, done. Don't need much, just a little dollop. Mix that all in. Give it a taste test. Tastes great. Could do with some more mustard. Can only find out by taste testing. So I mix another tablespoon of that in. Perfect. So we'll drop that in the fridge. And then we'll go mix it all together when it's done. We will tear up. Okay, so our eggs are done. So they've now cooled down. We can now touch them. So if we just want to run around with a spoon and crack them and give them a peel. So we'll peel them in here. So the reason for that is you wash the peel off. So if the water's been cold enough, then this should just peel off really easily. As you can see, mine's sort of still sticking, so I probably didn't quite have the water cold enough. If you do have ice cubes, put them in there as well, obviously to make it a lot colder. But this is our next step. Peel these, and then we're going to make... So, yeah, 20 minutes is up. Our potatoes are now able to be poked with a fork, or tended to a fork, I should say. So we'll let them dry off. So we'll set them in there to dry off. We've got our pot now. We've just peeled our eggs. So we'll just get that potato in there. Now, just a quick tip. Cool the pot down. Otherwise it'll take a lot longer for the whole lot to cool down, because we are going to use this as our storage device as well to put it in the fridge. So we give that a nice cool down, make sure we can touch it, which we can. Put our potatoes back in. You can cool the potatoes down if you really want to, but I'm not too fussed about that. Now we get our eggs, or we literally just want to explode it in there. Just like so. Now remember, it's up to your taste. You can do more eggs. The more eggs, the more flavour again, but it is whole egg mayo as well, so it's quite easy already. I generally, if I do 12 potatoes, I'll do 6 eggs. So that's sort of how I run it. But it just depends what sort of budget you're on. If it wasn't on a budget, I'd probably do more. Okay, so now we're going to tear up our bacon and put that in, and then we'll put our sauce in. Bacon, which we're just going to cut up, or tear up if it's cool enough, let it cool enough. So just little pieces like that, and then we'll put them in. Okay guys, last step. Putting our salad cream in with our bacon, potato and our egg. So we just want to mix it in. This is the final step other than tasting it and serving it. So we already tasted the sauce, so it should be fine. But it'd be criminal not to give it a bit of a taste test. So we'll scrape that a bit more in a minute. Just want to mix that in. Look at that. Look at that goodness. So we'll give it a taste test. And you're done.